Good afternoon and welcome to NAB 2024, Day 3. My name is Andres Serrano and I'm going to showcase some of the advantages of working with Qimera. Now we find ourselves in our studio here. This is a very large studio that we built for the NAB to portray, a large area. But as you can see, if my cameraman pans, you're going to see how large our studio is. We're going to show you another instance of our Flycam. This is something that would enhance your presentations for storytelling. So if you're doing some kind of story in your channel, this feature will help substantially getting the viewer to feel immersed into the story that you're portraying. So as you see here, the camera gets all the way to the anchor after going all around the set. This is another form of Flycam. This is allowing us to segue into our sports section. By the way, I must point out that this map was built for ESPN Deportes. We did their 20th anniversary show. So in this setting, you can see how we can unfurl assets from the rafters. And we can also bring assets into the composition. And that video wall back there, we can feed video into the wall from an SDI or an NDI source, or we can just play a file that's in the server. Also, as we bring assets into the composition, notice that my shadow gets cast onto the asset. So it creates a new, higher level of realism for the assets. See how, as I'm walking in front of it, my shadow gets cast onto the asset. We also have a battery of assets for sports and for many other settings. These assets are already included in the library, are part of Qimera, and may be edited and moved around the composition. They also may be edited for fonts, colors, images, even actions. We're using a technology for tracking the talent, so we call it talent tracking, and this allows the system to know where the talent is and where to place an object. So in this case, it has placed an object, and I'm able to go around the object, as you see here. And if need be, I can actually walk through the object. It's an election year. So Qimera is set up and ready to go for elections. So out of the box, you will have everything that you need to display on election night and before that. You see here, we draw the curtain, the White House comes in, the presumptive candidates roll down, and we have a banner on top that can display data for the candidates or for the elections. That data has been validated from many of the major providers of data information for the elections. So if you have a system that's already in place, it will take that data and display it through Qimera. Also, we have a congressional election, so we have graphs for that too. This is another example of the graphs that we already have in Qimera for the elections, and we're going to show you a whole bunch of graphics that they're already available and will update dynamically. Furthermore, if you are doing an election in another country, the logic of the election is already in place. So we can just go grab the map of the country that you want to use that you're doing the elections for, and it will be the same as you're seeing here. Everything that you see here can be applied to any country very fast and very quickly. This is another instance of our election coverage scenario. In this case, we have another LED wall behind us, but I'm going to be bringing some graphics also behind me. And once you notice that once the graphics came in, the LED wall went away. Also notice that as I walk in front of the assets, I'm casting a shadow on them. So this gives them more realism to the data and to the graphs. As they went away, the LED wall came back. can combine your real set with something like this. You can build a set, say, for the Olympics. So you can be doing your nightly show, and this is your actual studio. And then you say, well, we're going to our Paris bureau in order to do our show from, you know, the recap of the Olympics. So here we are in our bureau in Paris to recap the actual results. Again, walk out, you know, come back. Notice that it's very seamless, including my shadows when I walk in. Now, if you don't have space next to your real set to do this, we can still incorporate some of the graphics that you saw here. What I'm gonna do now is, yes, I need you guys to move back a little bit so that I'll have a free shot to that camera. That white area there, it's been simulated to be a real studio, or at least part of a real studio. So I'm gonna walk over there. Since we are tracking the area for the talent, as soon as I walk in, you're gonna notice that the assets that are present are gonna disappear. As I walk in, the camera is gonna notice that I just showed up at the location, and it takes the assets away. But you saw this asset, we were just using this asset inside our green screen. So now you see the asset here, you see the reflections on the floor. Again, you see the reflections, you see the asset. And we can bring other assets into the composition. Actually, this could even be used to capitalize on your broadcast. You can actually monetize this space while you're still doing your show without having to go to commercial. So you improved your inventory. And we're able to display videos on that sign. Now, since I am being tracked, there are certain gestures that I can utilize to trigger events. So in this case, I raise my arm and I get fire in my hand. And since I'm tracked, I can move around the studio and I'm still having that fire in my hand, and the fire goes with me anywhere I go. So if I want to get rid of the fire because it's getting too hot, I'm gonna send it to the source. So you see that robot up there that has the source. So I'm gonna send the fire to it, and now it's up there. This may be used to trigger events. For example, in our election coverage, you can bring a state, update the information, swipe it off, bring another state, update information, swipe it off, etc. And that, folks, it's Qimera for you. If you have any questions, feel free to come in, and if you want to see anything, the interface or any questions that you might have, you're welcome. Thank you very much.